Well, hello and welcome, Daniel and Tiffany, to this Oxygen Influencers podcast, which is sponsored by Nebula Global Services, and also delighted to be joined by Richard from Nebula. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Hi,
Thank
Doug.
you.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about whether the IT channel is doing enough to attract and also retain the next generation of talent. And I'm sure the two of you have got a unique perspective on this as younger people, younger leaders in the sector. But I'd like to start off by asking about your roles and how you got into those roles. And also the kind of highs and lows of your roles. I know, Tiffany, you're at Telefonica Tech. Daniel, you're at Distology, which is a cyber distributor. I should also mention that Tiffany is the reigning HPE Channel Reality Show winner as well.
For the next month.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, how did you get into those roles? And did you ever think that you would work in IT solution sales? Tiffany, let's start with you.
It's kind of funny, going way back to when I was in school, I actually did study computer science, and I thought about going into IT from that perspective. So my plan was to go to university, study computer science, and then kind of see what happens. I then quickly decided maybe that wasn't the route for me. It's, maybe not as social as I would want to be working in. And then I pivoted to psychology and business. At that point, again, I hadn't really thought any more about IT. I thought marketing would be a fun place to work, fashion, something like that. And it was only really when I was hearing about my friend's mum. So she has been honestly like my biggest inspiration to get into IT sales. Honestly, I didn't know that IT sales was a thing before hearing about her. So she has worked in it basically her whole career and has done exceptionally well. She's not really what I would call the stereotypical salesperson, which I always thought you needed to be to get into IT sales. She kind of opened up my perspective on the attributes that you can have and succeed with in IT sales. So after I finished university, I thought I would move into marketing because that was kind of my plan when I was at university. Did that for a bit, and then I kind of got that draw again, thinking about my friend's mum to make the pivot into IT sales. So I then applied for a job at Telefonica Tech, got in, and honestly, it was one of the best decisions of my entire life. It's just such a unique opportunity to be able to get involved in. Every single day is different, which is what I love about it. You get to speak to so many different people. There's highs and lows. I mean, everyone works differently under pressure. For me, I find that I kind of love it, and maybe that's why I succeeded when I did the reality show, because it's just an extremely high pressure environment. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I love it, and I mean, it's a great topic of conversation today about how we can introduce more people to the channel, because for me at least, when I was in school and early university, I didn't really know about companies like Telefonica Tech and all the different IT solution providers out there.
Yeah, so you didn't grow up wanting to work in IT solutions sales?
Not in sales, no.
Yeah, no, and I think I've read the similar thing for you, Daniel, in your actual Oxygen Influencers profile that you did, the Q&A. You said that you didn't know what the IT channel was before you joined, and you've had it's not been a linear path. I think you had a couple of jobs before you came into the channel, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, almost going back, I think Tiffany was a lot smarter than me with your computer science degrees and everything like that. But I started off actually doing accountancy, which was quite boring and definitely didn't fit my personality. But I went ahead and I was looking at apprenticeships, and I actually got an opportunity at an advertising agency, and I'd applied for a media apprenticeship. But they then turned around and said, "Oh, we realise that you've done these accountancy qualifications, so we'd like to offer you an accountancy apprenticeship." And I thought, great, not really exactly what I was wanting to do. However, it's a good company, good opportunity. Let's go in there and do it. So I was there for 2.5 years, and it definitely solidified the fact that accountancy wasn't going to be for me. I was looking at sort of different career paths. I know that I enjoyed working with people. I know that I enjoyed working at the front end of the business. So I was trying to look at opportunities for that, to which that started my journey in sales. So I worked out of the channel once at a software company. So that was my first introduction to software sales, which I really enjoyed. And then I moved out completely, working for a manufacturer. but the role was more advanced in terms of like account management and who I'd be looking after as part of it. I realised after doing that for a couple of years that I wanted to get into an industry where it wasn't just me working at the one business representing the one thing. I wanted to have an opportunity to grow and build different contacts, and also I really enjoyed the software element of sales, to which the opportunity presented itself at Distology. And I'd not really heard of cybersecurity. I didn't have any computer science degrees, so I wasn't sure how relevant it would be. But when actually going in and doing that interview and listening to the people and how passionate they were about technology, and also just understanding the role a little bit more around how I'm there to build partnerships and there to represent the brands that we look after, it was a natural move to take part in it. But I had no idea that the industry existed, didn't really understand what the channel was until probably about 3 to 6 months into the role. So there was a lot of learning to do there, whereby the channel community supported massively with that. But yeah, hadn't heard of it before, but I think since joining it's been an incredible experience. Highs and lows, always have a target, always back to zero after the end of the year, so that's something to keep on top of. But I think the highs definitely outweigh the lows. The partnerships that you create, the people you get to meet, the communities that you can get involved in, are all incredible. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
You know what? Sorry, I don't want to cut in, but it's actually quite funny. For quickness, I actually cut out part of my journey, and I actually did accountancy for a bit as well.
Really? Oh wow! I love that.
I completely understand the feeling of doing something that you maybe think is like the right thing to do, because like that's one of the preset things from society that you think would make sense, and then once you get into it, you're like, does not fit my personality. It doesn't fit me whatsoever. So I completely relate
Very
to that.
true. And I think a lot, like I even had like family being like, oh, maybe you shouldn't, maybe you should stick with it, carry on. So I am really glad that I decided to do that move, because I will be in the channel now forever.
Yeah,
So.
that's a good quote. That's a great quote. Yeah. No, thanks. And I mean, IT sales is not, or account management. It's not for everyone. Like, I would be terrible at it, for instance. But just to come to you, Richard, you've got the wider view, the 25-year view. So how have you seen the industry evolving when it comes to how it nurtures new talent?
Wow, yeah, good question, Doug. I mean, it's changed massively, and for the better. For the better. I mean, firstly, congratulations to you both on being on the Oxygen 50, right? That you're hearing your stories, what the influences is all about. It's about building that community of like-minded people from different backgrounds, but they all come together with that common goal of building community. So, yeah, if I look back at the start of my career, again, I didn't know what the channel was, and don't know if I still do, to be honest. But no, I think from my perspective, this type of discussion wouldn't have happened. This platform wasn't there then. So I think how we've come forward, I think what I'm seeing more of from businesses now is that sense of belonging. Companies understand that to build that culture and that sense of belonging within their companies is an investment now. It's not a nice to have, it's an investment in their people, because nurturing new talent and new people to the industry is expensive, and even more so in recent years, right? So keeping hold of your talent is the best way of nurturing that next generation at the same time, because you want to give people reasons to be within that business for longer and connected with that business. So I think that's changed a lot. I think also we've gone more from a task-based environment to an outcome-based environment within business, and I think that really motivates. I mean, I think of my own 20-year-old daughter, and what motivates her is different to what motivated me at her age, right? And you've got to remain relevant and keep the workplace moving as well. And I think the channel's always been resilient in that sense of adapting to customer needs, but we've probably not been as quick to transform to our people's needs within businesses. So I think that's been one of the biggest changes so far for me.